If you're a mid to senior level data engineer, you're probably feeling it at this moment. AI isn't just another tool to use, it's a fundamental paradigm shift reshaping our profession. But this isn't a fear mongering video, it's a framework to help you upskill yourself in the age of AI. You might be feeling obsolescence, life fatigue, and the pressure of constantly learning. Well, consider this. The futurist Alvin Toffler once said, the future will belong to those that can learn, unlearn, and relearn constantly. I've used this in my career, and it's proven to be successful. We'll start by looking at the learn imperative. The learn phase is all about experimentation and specifically hands-on experimentation. We'll focus on tools that are AI first, not just AI enabled. For this demonstration, we're going to look at the newly released Google CLI, the Gemini CLI, and of course, Cursor. Let's get started. Here's a practical example of how you can use the Gemini CLI to troubleshoot an error for you. Look at this specific Google Cloud error and try and see if you can find out what this means. It says something about a precondition and a CA pool that's been deleted. But beyond that, it doesn't really tell us what to do or where to start troubleshooting. I understand that you can Google this kind of stuff and eventually get to an answer, but consider this workflow and how much time it will save you. We switched to Gemini and let's paste the error in here. You can see I use Gemini 2.5 Pro and it immediately indicates what the error means. So right now we know that we need to restore a deleted pool, or we need to create a new pool for us in order to get to the correct solution. There's other commands as well. Let's try and ask it a follow-up question. And you can see it explains to us what a CA pool is in the context of Google Cloud as well. So the neat thing about this is we can try and troubleshoot the issue alongside our junior coding assistant, if you will, and get to the correct results. Imagine we want to get all the databases in a Snowflake and we want to get their respective sizes. I know this is a contrived example, but with this workflow you can easily ask Gemini to give you the commands that you're interested in. Let's type it in here. Gemini came back and showed us these commands. We can see that we get a list of databases, or we can just run the select query to get the sizes as well. And in addition to that, it also asks if it needs to create a Python script for us to run these commands for a given Snowflake account. Let's try using Cursor to build a sample data model, DBT model for us using the Datamite add-in. After some time, this is what Cursor and Datamite returned back to me. You can see that it created a sample DBT project for us, and that DBT run and everything is up and running. You can see that there's a couple of models here as well, some schema stuff, and project files for SQLite database. This is really scratching the surface of what DBT Datamite can do for us. And for a complete list, I'll provide the documentation for you as well. And if you're interested, I can even make a video about it at some point in the future. Here's another example of what we can do with DBT Mate. Let's say we want to understand what the upstream parents of this model is. We can simply type it in. This is what got called, and you can see the upstream parents of this model is my first DBT model. Unlearning is probably the hardest phase. This is about strategically abandoning your practices that are now inefficient, freeing up your cognitive energy for high-level work. The first habit to unlearn is manual boilerplate coding. Think about how many times you've written a gcloud alias command, for example, or how many times you've written boilerplate code for an Airflow DAG. Those days are over. The real value now is in the context, not in boilerplate coding. The second value to unlearn is over-reliance on syntax memorization. No longer are the days where you memorized obscure set and awk commands or some windowed function relevant. That knowledge is now externalized. You're shifting from recall to problem framing. A junior engineer will accept the code verbatim. Your job is now to critically evaluate the code and documentation that AI generated for you. The third habit to unlearn is from scratch documentation. AI can generate 80% of a README and doc strings for you. Your job now is to curate, edit, and add the critical business context to the documentation. Think of your lower activation energy required to generate documentation and lose the habit of trying to do everything yourself. You're shifting from a human repository to a expert validator of AI-driven systems. Relearning is about focusing on higher leverage strategic work instead of the low level automated stuff. AI will become your junior pair programmer, and you have to check it and make sure that it delivers high quality work for you. In addition, you have to master context engineering. The term prompt engineering is probably the wrong phrase, and context engineering is emerging as the prominent way in which to devise your prompts to AI. Look out for a future video, a YouTube video on the subject as well. Think of combining all the contextual information that you need to provide AI in order to deliver a prompt that can actually deliver meaningful results to you. That is context engineering. Finally, security and governance will become pivotal in this new world. AI will deliver code for you, but someone's going to need to check it and make sure that it adheres to your company's best practices and security principles. Your future role will then become that of a systems thinker. A systems thinker is somebody who can put all the moving parts together and see the big picture. You will become a systems thinker, managing the interface between AI agents, your data platform, and human beings. The great divide then is real. You can choose to adapt to the world of AI, or you can stagnate and end up maintaining legacy systems instead of becoming an AI powered data engineer or architect. I choose the latter. I want to enjoy this new world of AI. The experience premium is no longer about syntax knowledge. Instead, it's about being able to govern the output that AI provides to you effectively. Your plan then should be to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Learn tools like Gemini and Cursor and how to use them effectively. Unlearn the habits of syntax memorization and developing boilerplate code, and relearn how to become a strategic leader in the age of AI. Here's your action plan for the Learn, Unlearn, and Relearn framework. Your first task is to pick one task that you can automate using either Gemini CLI or Cursor. So think of a repetitive task and try and automate that. Your second task is to maintain a journal of all the things in your life at work that are wasting your time. All these things can potentially be automated. Your third task is to speak to your team about establishing a standard of conventions using AI tools such as a .cursor file, and understanding what governance implications are involved in that. Let's summarize what we've learned. To adapt to this new age of AI, we have to master and learn new AI concepts and tools. We have to abandon outdated methods and unlearn old habits. We have to leverage AI for our strategic advantage. And we have to relearn how to architect our workflows for AI. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. I'm curious about how you've learned to use AI to make your life easier and to automate repetitive tasks. Please share your experiences in the comments below, or contact me on LinkedIn personally if you don't feel comfortable doing that. Also, please like and subscribe and tell me what other suggestions for videos you have. See you next time.